Alright, so what we're going to be doing in this next session, or what you guys are going to be doing more to the point, is getting up to this sort of level. Now I'll just give you some pointers in terms of what you've got to do here. I'll just summarise it for you first where we're heading. We're going to put all the floors in. So some of the floors you can obviously see this external pavement here has gone in. That's going to be one that you need to put in. Also inside the actual building, I'll turn some layers off in a second. There'll be a floor at the factory level. It'll actually be in two parts because there'll be a 250mm thick suspended concrete floor up to grid X5, and then from grid X5 on to the front of the building there will be a 150mm concrete slab. So simple process of putting some shapes in plan view to create the floor, and then push pulling 250 for the factory floor where it's suspended up to grid X5, and then 150 beyond grid X5 up to the front. The other floor is obviously then underneath the basement. So down at the basement level we'll have a 150mm thick concrete slab on ground underneath this entire basement level. We're then going to put a ramp. Now I'll just turn off my site, my layer at the moment. I'll show you because that's another thing we're going to be doing. No, not that one. Must be a topography. That'll be it. Sorry. Okay, I'll show you about that in a second. But then once we've got the slab downstairs, which is this one, this can actually probably get deleted, this line here. Yep, this one here, because that would be a continuous concrete slab out to those walls. That can get deleted there also, to give you a bit of an idea of what's going on when we look at an underneath view. So that will be a concrete slab all underneath that building, coming out to this outside driveway area. And then we've got the flat slab at the front, this sort of external pavement area, and then we'll need to create a ramp, ramping from the lower basement level at the correct slope. You can research that yourselves from the BCA to find out what that slope should be. You'll need to find out that cross-reference information. It's been discussed in class, so if you didn't attend in class, you'll need to find out what the slope of that ramp should be in accordance with BCA requirements, and the requirements will be with respect to access and egress from this area. You won't need to include access for disability, because we're going to create a disabled car park up in this front car park area. The basement car park therefore is not required for disabled access. Okay, so that's the floors done. The other thing that we'll just do then is tidy up this upstairs level. I've got a glass curtain wall missing here, unless it's on the wrong layer that I just turned off before, which is possible, and I'd better clean up my layers if that's the case. Yes, it was. I'd drawn that glass curtain wall on the wrong layer, so I'll clean that up in a second. So we'll just tidy up this. Everything mainly around the facade is what I want closed off and locked up. So I'm not interested in you finishing off too much the walls inside, but from an exterior point of view, I want you to nicely finish off all the walls. So it's simply a matter of drawing lines and geometry, and then in these glass curtain wall instances you might like to take advantage of the translucent material to show that they're translucent, looking something like that. I haven't bothered closing off this back end, but maybe we could do that as well. So once you've got all that in train, I'll just show you a little bit more now by turning off some layers and looking down, or maybe we don't need to do that. The site is what the other thing I've got to show you about. So this site here, at the moment mine's translucent. We're going to bring that topography in from a survey drawing, so you'll need to get the survey drawing off the college server. I'll just turn my survey drawing back on. I'll just go into the materials so you get a better look at it. I'll pick up my eyedropper and pick up that material and drop it on my terrain, my topography. So the topography comes in. You'll need to get that file from the college server, and then you can import that file from the college server and then use SketchUp's sandbox tools to convert, and you'd actually be using this one here from Contours. So so you need to activate the sandbox tools. To do that, you have to make sure that you go to Window Preferences, and under Window Preferences, under Extensions, you have to make sure your sandbox tools are checked. If they're not checked at the moment, you have to check that. You'll then have to close down SketchUp and start it up again to get those sandbox tools working. But anyway, after you import, you'll go File, Import, and you'll import the CAD drawing. It'll be an AutoCAD drawing, and you'll then search for the particular survey drawing that we're using, and you can import that survey drawing into SketchUp, orientate it, rotate it round, place it in the correct position so it lines up with the proper site boundary, and lift it up to the correct elevation. And then when it's lifted up to the correct elevation, you can use your sandbox tools then to turn the contours from that survey drawing into this this topography that we've included in SketchUp. Now I then just changed the material of my topography to a translucent material because I felt at this stage, at a modelling point of view, it gave me a good visual, so I could see what was happening below the ground, and I could also see the natural ground line as well cutting through here, and I could see how much excavation needs to happen down at the basement. So that's why I did it like that, and I can see the shape of the terrain exterior from the outside. Okay, so that's basically where you'll be heading to get all of that tidied up. I'll just stop the video here now and let you sort of dwell on those points.